Welcome back to the Launchpad session 2. Before we dive in, I want you to think about your idea for a moment. In your notebook, write down one thing about your idea that you feel still needs validation or has not been validated yet. It could be your customers' willingness to pay, the size of your market, or even whether people care about the problem you are solving. Take a few seconds and jot that down. That's exactly the kind of thinking we need for this session. Hold on to that thought as we go through this next session. One of the biggest fears every founder has is, will my idea actually work? And you're not alone. Every successful founder you have heard of, Airbnb, Uber, Slack, they all had the exact question in their early days. The reality is sobering. 9 out of 10 startups fail. And it's not always because they ran out of funding or got crushed by competitors. Most fail for a much simpler reason. They built something no one really wanted. Good ideas fail without validation. Great ideas succeed when they are tested early. That's why before we write a single line of code or spend months building an MVP, we need a simple and powerful filter. That filter is what I call the idea validation checklist. It helps you take that uncertainty you just wrote down and test it to find out whether your idea has real legs or whether it's just another dream waiting to fail. So let's dive into the checklist step by step and see how it applies to your own idea. Okay, now we get to one of the most important parts of Launchpad, the idea validation checklist. Think of this as your filter before you spend time or money building. This checklist helps you stress test your idea. And in a few minutes, we'll actually score your idea against these points. So listen carefully and think about how each one applies to you. Number one is the problem exists and is significant. What real problem are you trying to solve? And is it painful enough that people want it solved? Example, think about Uber. The pain was clear, waiting 30 minutes in the rain for a cab that may never come. That's a significant daily frustration. How to use this? Write down the exact problem in one sentence. If it sounds vague or optional, it's probably not significant enough. Step number two is target audience can be clearly defined. Who exactly has this problem? And be specific. Instead of saying everyone who shops online, Amazon started with book buyers, narrow audience, clear problem. How to use this? If you cannot describe your target customer in one sentence, you don't have clarity. Step number three is audience has tried other solutions and failed. Are people already trying to solve this problem? If yes, that's a green flag. Let me give you an example. Before Dropbox, people were already emailing files to themselves or carrying USB drives, clunky, imperfect solutions. The failed attempts proved demand. How to use this? Look at current behaviors and workarounds. If nobody is trying anything, maybe the problem is not urgent. Let's go to point number four. Competitors exist, and that's good. Competition means demand. Do not fear it. Airbnb launched in a world with hotels and Craigslist sublets. Competitors showed the market was real. Airbnb just solved it for the better. List your top two competitors. If you can't find any, the danger is not opportunity, it's lack of demand. Fifth step is unique value proposition is very clear. Why should people choose you instead of others? Let me give you an example. Slack was not the first chat tool, but its clean interface plus integrations made it 10x better for teams. That was the unique value. Write your why us in one sentence. If you cannot, your UVP or unique value proposition is not strong enough yet. Step number six is the market size is large enough for growth. Even with a great idea, if the market is too small, you cannot build a business. Netflix did not stop at DVD rentals. The market for online streaming was huge. That's why it grew. Check if your target market is big enough to grow into, not just survive in. And the seventh point is early adopters are accessible for feedback and testing. This is critical. Can you find real users to test your idea with quickly? When launching Facebook, Zuckerberg did not open it to the whole world. He started with Harvard students, accessible, testable early adopters. How to use this? Write down where your first 50 users will come from. If you don't know, that's a warning sign. Now, here's how you will use this checklist. For each of the 7 points, you'll soon give your idea a score: strong, moderate, or weak. That rating will show you whether your idea is ready to build or whether you need more validation work first. But before we score it, look at these 7 points again and circle the one that feels like your biggest gap, right? Just mark 1 through 7 in your note. Great. That's the kind of clarity this framework gives you. So the checklist is not just theory, it's a tool. Next, we'll apply it directly to your idea with a simple scoring system. So you walk away knowing exactly where your strengths and risks are. All right, let's pressure test your idea together. Grab the scoring grid in your workbook or just open a blank page and make 7 lines labeled 1 to 7. Scoring is simple. Yes gives you 2 points, maybe equals to 1 point, and no equals to 0 point. Go with your first honest instinct. If you are unsure, mark maybe. Step 1: problem exists and is significant. Write your problem in one sentence. If a real user would say, I'd pay to make this go away, that's significant. Now score it: yes, maybe, or no. And you can pause the video if you are listening in and do your exercise and come back and resume. Step 2 is target audience can be clearly defined. Who exactly has this problem? Write a one line persona. If you can name 10 specific people who fit it, you are clear. Score it. Step 3 is audience has tried other solutions and failed. What are people using today? Spreadsheets, email, a competitor, a manual workaround? If nobody is trying anything, pain may be weak. Now go ahead and score it. Step 4: competitors exist. This is a sign of demand. List 2 or 3 alternatives or competitors. Competition equals to demand. No visible competitors can be a red flag. Now go ahead and score this as well. Unique value proposition is clear in one line. For audience, who, problem, we, core value, unlike alternative, we, clear differentiator. Step 6 is market size is large enough for growth. Rough check. Is there a path to thousands of paying users or meaningful B2B ACV in a growing market? If you do not have a credible path, mark maybe. Step 7 is early adopters are accessible for feedback or testing. Where will your first 20 testers come from in the next 2 weeks? LinkedIn, communities, WhatsApp groups, partners, your email list. If you don't know, it's a no. Now, calculate your score. Add your points. 12 to 14 points is green light. 8 to 11 points, yellow light. And up to 7 points, red light. Write your total and circle it on your sheet. Here's what your result means. Green light 12 to 14, nice, your direction is strong, will move you into the MVP decision map. Next, to pick the smallest set of features to validate fast. Yellow light 8 to 11 points. You are close, circle your lowest 2 steps. That's your next week's work. Customer calls, quick pricing tests, or tighter audience focus. Small tweaks here create big momentum. And then red light, 0 to 7 points. This is not a fail, it's a gift. You just saved months of building. Revisit the big three levers. Sharpen the problem to a more painful one. Narrow the audience to a reachable niche. Line up early adopters before you build. We'll show you how, and the sprint program is designed to help you tighten these fast before development. Keep this score handy. We'll use it as we build your MVP decision map and timeline. The goal is not perfection, it's progress with proof. Ready to decide which features build first? Let's move to the next framework. This is the first framework we'll use today, and it's one of the most important. The MVP decision map helps you decide what's in and what's out of your MVP based on two things: impact versus effort. Why does this matter? Because overbuilding kills startups. The fastest way to waste money is to build every idea that pops into your head. The MVP decision map prevents that. The core principle: MVP does not mean the smallest product. It means the smallest set of features that deliver the most value. That's your launch point. The four quadrants: high impact plus low effort equals to must have, quick wins. These are your no brainers. Build them first. They provide maximum value quickly. Example: in a food delivery app, order tracking is high impact, low effort. So it's a must have. High impact plus high effort, consider it for later. Major projects. These are valuable features but costly. Plan for a later version after you validate your core. Real-time delivery optimization with AI. Powerful but too heavy for version. Low impact plus low effort. It's a nice to have. Fill-ins. These don't make or break your MVP. Add them only if time permits. Example: custom emoji reactions in chat. Fun but not critical. And then finally, low impact plus high effort. Avoid. These are time wasters. These are dangerous, costly to build, low value to users. Let me give you an example. Live rider camera feed in a food delivery app. Cool idea, but it's a distraction. How to use in session? Here's how you will actually use this. List all possible features of your idea, write them down for each feature. Ask, what's the impact to the user and what's the effort to build? Place it in the right quadrant. Your MVP should be limited to the high impact plus low effort quadrant. That's your must have roadmap. Take one feature you are debating right now. In your notes, write its name and decide where you would place it. Must have, consider later, nice to have, or avoid. You'll see how quickly this gives you clarity. And here's the best part: you do not need to memorize this. We are going to share this framework as part of your Launchpad kit. You'll have everything you need to create your own MVP decision map after today. Getting this right will save you months of wasted work and give you a roadmap that investors and teams understand immediately.